Hello children, hope you all are doing well. As you all have completed about the commercial banking system in our country and what all commercial banks are there and how they functions in our country, right? But they only functions in our country without any supervision. It's not possible. Some and anybody is required to supervise them, to regulate them, to make them to operate in a proper manner. So that particular apex body in our country is RBI. That is our Central Bank of India. So children, today I am here with the topic of functions of central bank, which we are going to discuss in today's class. There are, you can see over here, 5 functions of central bank, which central bank used to function in that way, and how the central banks used to regulate the other banks, used to operate the other banks, and used to supervise the other banks, right? So today we will be discussing on to that. So the first function is currency authority. Central bank and your RBI is that bank which has the sole authority to issue currency notes, but and accept 1 rupee coins and 1 rupee note and several other coins, because that particular responsibility is only with Ministry of Finance, with the government, right? But all the other currencies are being issued and solely issued by the RBI, the Reserve Bank of our India, right? The Central Bank of our India. It has only the sole right to issue currency notes. Now, what so happens and why this particular sole right is given to only the Central Bank of India? So it must be having several advantages or several benefits. So these advantages are, first of all, it keeps uniformity. If there is only one organization or one body to deal with the one work, so there would be a specialization and there would be a uniformity. So to maintain the uniformity in the currencies, so that is why this particular sole right has been given to the one bank, one central head, that one central bank. Secondly, it influences money supply. As we know, the money in our hand, the money in the hands of the public are the like money in circulation, which actually influences money supply into the economy. So central bank has a right to influence its money supply. They can decrease or increase the money supply. They can decrease or increase the power, the circulation of money, right? So this sole right is also with the central bank. That is why it is very important to give this right to the central bank and the sole authority to issue currency notes, so that they can influence the money supply. They can regulate the money supply into the economy, right? So they can increase and decrease the way of money circulating into the country. Third one is, it enables government to have supervision into what? Into the issuing of currency notes, into the printing of currencies, right? So it enables, see, government will have to supervise only one particular body, that is RBI. So government can keep supervisions onto one particular central bank, that is one bank, that is RBI. So that is why it is another advantage what we get by giving sole authority to issue currency note to RBI. Then it is very important that, as we know, that there is one particular characteristics, or we can say feature of money, that it is generally acceptable. Why it is being acceptable to the public? Because public have some faith into the currencies, right? Because it is being issued by a authorized body by the government, and that is why it is being useful, it is being acceptable by every public into the economy, right? So this is why, to maintain the public faith, it is important to give this sole authority to Central Bank of India, that is RBI. So to maintain the public faith, then only the currencies can be useful. Next is to maintain the stabilization of internal and external currency value. As you know that the currencies are being changed or exchanged also from one country to another. There are several activities we are doing, like import and export, right? So several activities. RBI is that having the power to maintain the foreign exchange reserves, right? This is the one more function which we will be reading. So it has the particular right to maintain the reserves of foreign exchange. So they have the stabilization, they have that particular right to stabilize the value of the currency internally as well as externally, right? So this is what the first function of RBI, that is the sole authority to issue currency notes, except 1 rupee note and coins, because this is being issued by Ministry of Finance. The another function is bankers to the government. See, commercial banks are there for the public, but which bank will be offering all the advances process and all the depositing process to the government? So that bank is RBI. RBI used to provide facilities as being an agent, as being an advisor, right? As being a banker to the government, to the central government as well as state government. So banker, agent, advisor to central and state both. Banker, why banker? Because what is the main function of the bank? Accepting deposits and granting loans. This is what the thing they used to do with the central government. The RBI used to do with the central government. They also used to provide loans to them for a temporary periods, and they also accept deposits, right? Then second thing, why they are called as bankers to the government? They maintain the current account of the government. As you know, what is current account? Current account is that account which is mainly maintained for the reason of day-to-day transactions, because like a businessman is having the day-to-day everyday transactions, so they are opening their current account in their commercial banks, right? Whatever they from wherever they are the customer of. Likewise, current account of government, in which they also have the day-to-day basis transaction, the making of payments, accepting some receipts, right? So these were all undertaken by the RBI for the central and state government. They accept the receipts and makes the payment for the government on behalf of the government. They accepts the receipts and makes a payment, okay, like of any kind of remittance and other banking operations. What all other banking operations are there for a general public is given by the commercial bank. Likewise, for the central government and state government, these all particular facilities are being given by central bank. Next, loans and advances, that I have already discussed with you, that how they are acting as a bankers to the government, as they are providing loans and advances to the government for the temporary periods, okay. They borrow the money. The central government and government used to borrow the money. State government used to borrow the money. How they used to borrow the money? They used to keep something as collateral. So that is treasury bills. They used to sell the treasury bills to the central bank, so that they can take the loan from the central bank. So these treasury bills are being sold by central government or state government to the RBI, so that they can borrow money. So at that time, when they are borrowing money, when they are having some kind of deficit financing, at that time, as you know what is deficit financing means, like we are doing import export both, right? Sometimes happen we are importing more than the export. It means the exchanges, the foreign exchange which is coming into a country, like less than what we are paying to outside, right? So at that time, in that deficit, who will be helping out us? So we require money, the government require money at that time, so that money can be borrowed by the RBI. Next is, they are managing the public debt on behalf of the government. All the public debt, as they are being the agent of government, so they are managing all the public debts, right? Then last, they are financial advisors. As I told you, they are financial, all the money matters, whatever has to be discussed is being discussed with the help of RBI only. It's being taken into consideration with the help of RBI only. So this was the second function of. Now the next function is bankers to bank and supervisor. Now commercial banks are there for us, for the public, but who are there for them? So RBI is there for them. RBI, it's acting as a banker also for the banks, as well as a supervisor too. As a banker, what the functions they are doing, RBI is doing, that is custodian of cash reserves. As you know, in commercial bank, when you were learning about commercial bank, you come to know that commercial banks are required, and it is being mandatory to them to maintain some reserves with the RBI as a liquidity reserve ratio, LRR, or statutory liquidity ratio, that is SLR, okay. The two of the ratios, like cash reserve ratio, okay, these reserves, they have to maintain with the RBI as a cash reserves, right? So They are what? The RBI is the custodian of that cash reserves, which is being maintained by RBI of who? Of several commercial banks. Then they are the lender of the last resort. The RBI is the lender of the last resort for the commercial banks. Why the lender of the last resort? See, when we are requirement of loans and all, we used to approach to the commercial banks. But these financial requirements can be faced by commercial bank too. So every commercial bank can borrow and take loan from the RBI, because they are the only lender of the last resort. They are the last resort to which the commercial banks will approach for any of the deficit they are facing in their financial requirements, in their finance. So they can approach to the RBI. So how they can approve for the loan? They can get the loan by discounting the several securities what they have into their hand and the several bills of exchange, because something we need to keep, then only we get the loan. Likewise, they also need to keep something as a collateral, like approved securities as well as bills of exchange, then only they can get the loan and credit from the RBI. Next, they are acting RBI is acting as a clearing house, as every commercial bank is having an account in the RBI. Like we public are having an account of saving and current account like in commercial banks. Likewise, every commercial bank is also having account in RBI. Every commercial bank, right? So might be the one commercial bank is having some dealing purpose or some transaction with the other commercial banks, right? So as you know, the bills of exchange and several cash reserves are maintained by the RBI. So this cash reserves is being helpful at the time when there is a settlement of claim between one bank to another bank, one commercial bank to another commercial bank. When there is a settlement, settlement has to be done of one bank with the another bank or with each other. So that settlement can be done by RBI, against what? Against the cash reserves being maintained by the commercial banks. So this is how the RBI is acting as a bankers to the several commercial banks. First one, they are custodian of cash reserves, which is the reserves which is being maintained by RBI to commercial banks. Then they are the lender of the last resort to provide loans to the commercial banks, and they are acting as a clearing house. When the loans are being taken by one commercial bank to the other commercial bank and they are not able to repay it, so at that time this claim settlement can be done through RBI, as they are maintaining the cash reserves. Then last, this is the supervisor of whenever there is a need of expansion of the branch, whenever there is a need of licensing, several needs are there of the commercial banks. So these all are supervised and regulated by RBI. Okay. Now next function is controller of money supply and credit. It's one kind of supervisory function also, what we can say, right? So it helps in controlling the money supply and credit into the economy, because we cannot have more money supply, we cannot have boom period also, we cannot have recession period also. So to control the money supply, the money circulation into the economy, somebody is required to regulate it. That somebody is RBI. So how they actually regulate the money supply and credit into the economy? Money supply, which is the money into the hands of the public, right? So this is to be maintained, that money circulation should not be more. So how that can be maintained? So there are several ways through which RBI used to maintain it. One is repo rate. The one is repo rate. Repo rate is that rate, children, is that rate at which the central bank used to lend money to the commercial bank. As just now we were talking about that bankers to bank, it acts as a bankers to bank, so how it advances loans to them also against some approved securities as well as bills of exchange. So and certain interest rate is also there. So that is the rate at which the central bank used to lend the money to the commercial bank. Now if they increase the rate, it means what? The cost of borrowing has been increased. The cost of borrowing has been increased. It means commercial banks will also be restricted to certain limit to provide loans to the public, and then they also have to increase the rates. In which they need to provide loan to the general public. So this will automatically contract the money supply. Okay, and if they want to expand the money supply, they want to increase the money supply, so what they will do? They will decrease the repo rate, so that the commercial bank will also decrease the rates of their lending to the general public. Then the next is bank rate. Children, bank rate is that rate at which central bank lends money to the commercial bank, but for long term needs. The repo rate is for short term needs, okay, and bank rate is for long term needs. Bank rate is one term. This bank rate is also used at the time when we are talking about when commercial banks used to lend money to the general public. But here is the bank rate at which the central bank used to lend money to the commercial bank for the long term period. So this is how the same thing. If they want to increase the money supply, the rate will be decreased, and if they want to contract the money supply, they want to lesser the money supply, so the rate they will increase. Okay, so that the commercial bank will also bind to provide loans to the general public. Then next is open market operation, which is also abbreviated as OMO. Open market operations. Like we know that several securities, treasury bills are being maintained by RBI, as they were providing loans to the government and they were providing loans to these commercial banks. So they have certain securities and all. Okay. So open market operation, it is the market of selling and buying of securities. It is a market of what? Selling and buying of securities. So you're just saying, if I will be selling something, it means I will be getting some money, and if I will be purchasing something, so I have to pay some money, right? So at that time when the central bank want to control the money supply, so what they will do? They will purchase the securities, or they will sell the securities, so that they can get the money from the hands of the commercial banks and from the hands of the general public. They will sell their securities so that they can get the money back to them, to the RBI only, right? And if they want to expand the money supply, they will start purchasing the securities from the banks. Okay, they will start purchasing the securities, in this way the banks, several commercial banks, general public will get money into their hand, right? So this is the market of buying and selling of securities. Next is legal reserve requirements. As I have discussed already right now, there are reserves which is being maintained by RBI from the commercial banks. So that reserves are CRR, cash reserve ratio, we can say liquidity reserve ratio, SLR, statutory liquidity ratio, some securities, some assets they need to maintain with them. So if they want to contract the money supply, they want to curb the money supply, what they will do? They will increase the cash reserve ratio or SLR, okay, a statutory liquidity ratio. And if they want to expand the money supply, so they will decrease the cash reserve ratio and decrease the cash reserve ratio and SLR, so that the commercial banks would be having more money to provide loans to the general public. Okay, this is all the case in which we are seeing that the rates has to be increased so that money supply can be decreased, and if the rates are decreased, so the money supply can be increased. Okay, margin requirement. Children, margin requirement is that margin in which when I am going to take a loan from the banks, I need to keep something, like my asset have to be kept as a collateral with them, okay, as a collateral with them. So that value is and should be lesser than the value, lesser than the amount what I am going to take as a loan, right? So this margin requirement, like if my assets value is 10 lakh, so I am not going to get the loan of 10 lakh from that, okay, might be only getting the loan of 8 lakhs, and I am keeping the collateral of 10 lakh, okay. Likewise, so if this margin requirement, like whatever was the value of my asset, the particular rate of margin is being fixed upon to that asset, and it depends upon borrower to borrower. Central bank asks the commercial bank to give and to keep margins of different types of borrowers in a different way, in different rate. Like for somebody it is 60%, somebody it is 40%, somebody is 50%. Okay, they cannot keep the same value of the asset, they cannot give the loan of same value of the asset. Why? Because the asset might be falling also, the value of the asset might be fall in the near future, so they will occur a loss, they will face a loss, so that is why they cannot give. So this is what in margin requirement, like if I am having a 10 lakh of asset value and I want a loan of 8 lakh, so This is how 80% of margin requirement has been fixed. So it is understood, if they want to decrease the money supply, contract the money supply, the margin requirement would be decreased, and if they want to curb the money, expand the money supply, the margin requirement would be increased. Next, now last function, last but not the least, that is the custodian of foreign exchange reserve. Central bank and RBI, we can say RBI is being acting as a custodian of all foreign exchange reserves, of all another assets like gold, okay, another asset like reserves, what they used to get from the foreign, right? So they used to have a custody onto that foreign exchange reserve, so that they can stabilize the external value of currency. They are helping the banks, they are helping the several commercial banks, so that the stabilization of external value of currencies can be there. Then they also, it helps in pursuing a coordinated policy. See, balance of payment, you will be learning about one government budget chapter. In that you will be learning about balance of payment. Balance of payment here means, just now I was telling you about, we used to do export also and import also, okay? Which value should be more? Of course export should be more, import should be less. Or if there is import is more and export is less, it means what? There is a disbalance of payments, right? Imbalance of payments. So we cannot afford this. It means we have to maintain certain policy, so that the balance of payment situation can be handled. So this particular function is being done by RBI. So this is how RBI is acting as a custodian of foreign exchange. So we have discussed all the points, all the functions regarding RBI. I hope you will be learning it properly. You have to note down in your copy, okay? And whatever the doubt is there, do ask in the personal desk.